Yes, people, what's going on? It's your boy Big Augs, and welcome back to the Voice of the Tune. The day after the night before, where Newcastle went away to Man City, and we held a 1-0 loss against the champions. And obviously, for those who watched my match preview, I was pretty confident coming into this game. I thought this is a game where we can get something from Man City. I thought City were a bit weakened with obviously not having Kevin De Bruyne, and also John Stones being out and no Bernardo Silva. So a lot of Newcastle fans were buoyant coming up to this game, and and I done a fan prediction on my Instagram story, and most of the fans, if not all Newcastle fans, I mean, call us biased or not, but most of us were talking about winning, 2-1 win, 3-1, 4-1 Newcastle. Obviously, the 4-1 shouts are a bit crazy, but there was an air of confidence going into this game. So, and obviously we know it's a 1-0 defeat, and I'm a bit disappointed. I'm disappointed because we didn't get the win, or we left with nothing, and that's as far as my disappointment goes. I'm not disappointed in the performance. I'm not disappointed in how we execute our game. I feel like when you come to Man City's ground, there's a reason why they're the Premier League champions. There's a reason why they're European champions. The best teams come here and don't win. So you can see from the minute go, City's game plan was to dominate the ball, and because obviously we don't play Man City every week, innit? So for us players, for our players as well, like they probably weren't used to that feeling of not having the ball for so long and having to chase the ball down, and then when we do get it, Man City make it difficult for us to keep it. So that was for me like the pattern of the game for the first, I'd say, 20 minutes. City were on the ball, we couldn't keep it, and then probably after 25 minutes we started to grow into the game, starting to put some passes together. Bruno linking up with Tonali very well down the right hand side with Trippier and Almiron. I feel like that's where a lot of our play started off, to happen. A good piece of football started off on the right hand side. So we started to grow in the game, and obviously as is 0-0, for as long as possible, we grew it into the game. And I was happy because obviously you could see how we tried to play. We tried to implement our style, and we don't change our way of playing for whoever it is. If it's Man City, if it's the best in the world, if it's the best in the league or the worst team in the league, we play the same way, and that's what I've always wanted. Even under the old regime and old managers, one thing that used to frustrate me is that we used to just change how we play because we're playing a better side. So Eddie Howe's fearless. The boys are fearless, and you can see how we try to play. We try to play high. You can see in some moments Edison tried to exploit that. Foden tried to exploit that by obviously running in behind, creating space, and that's what I said in my match preview, that we can't give them too much space. So you can see how we try to play, high up the pitch, press them, make it difficult for them. But what Man City do, like I said before, like they do it to all the top teams. Real Madrid went there last season, as did Bayern Munich in the Champions League, and what they do is that they make it hard for you to implement your game. And by doing that, teams get frustrated, the way they set out to play changes because they don't have the ball. And I feel like that's what happened to us. It's not that we play badly, it's just because Man City are such a good side, and what they're good at is making it hard for other teams to come to their ground and play how they want to play, because they're all on the ball. They know how to own the ball, and Pep's passion is keeping the football. And that's what they did against us, which made it hard for us to get in our stride. And I'm not too mad at the performance. It's just obviously we were shown where we need to be. Man City are the top. Even with their injuries, even with players missing, they are still at the top. Pep Guardiola, he put Foden in the sort of number 8 role, and Foden was getting in between the lines on which we struggled to pick him up, whether it was Bruno or whether it was Botman or Shaw. They struggled to pick him up because obviously one's marking Haaland, and obviously with Haaland you need to have two people marking him, and Bruno's not a natural number 4, so he's not going to sit in there. So Foden had a lot of space in there. And on a half turn, he's dangerous, and that's probably where they get their joy. And the first goal come in through Dan Burnside. I said in my match preview that not to single him out, but obviously the left side is where City will target. and I've not seen it back since watching the game, but I just recall the movement in where there was a player outside on the wing, so Dan Burn's attention was there, and then all of a sudden Phil Foden pops up, and then he squares it to Alvarez, and Alvarez, does what he does best. He's a great finisher. I do feel like Nick Pope, who got a slight hand to it, he could have done a bit better with that, because it felt like it was a slow motion watching it. He got a little palm to it, but I feel like he could have gotten a bit more of that and stopped it. The shot wasn't that outrageous that it should beat him from that angle, but obviously it went in. And for me, it was a soft goal to concede, because obviously, yes, City were dominating the ball, but at that time they hadn't really created many chances. Haaland had some half chances, but as I say, if you give Haaland half chances, that's still a chance. But Haaland had some half chances, but the game was pretty much in balance up until that point, and then obviously they got the goal and they started to dominate the ball a bit more. I think Tonali got a booking early on as well in the first half, and I feel like that affected his game because he couldn't be as aggressive as he wished and as he wanted to be. So, so obviously going into half time, I could see that Man City are dominating the game, and Eddie Howe comes out, and then we come out again in the second half, and we try to still play the way we play, but obviously like Man City make it difficult. But the main thing for me from this game is that we kept our playing style, and we were brave, and we did cause City problems. There were some parts, like I think there was a cross put into Gordon in the first half where he could have hit it first time, a half chance, he actually could have hit it first time, but that didn't happen, and he took a touch, and obviously the space went, and that moment went. So there were some moments where we caused them problems, but there wasn't enough like we did last season, for example, or there wasn't enough because Man City defensively, they're sound. I feel like their strongest area now, bar Haaland in attack, their defence is going to get them success this season of how difficult they are to break down. Kyle Walker, again, for me, was terrific on the right-hand side. He was in space every single time, and he was the outball. And then obviously, when Kyle Walker goes up, you got a Kanji who's moving into the midfield, sometimes picking up the ball, doing that John Stones role, and then they got a back three. So it was difficult for us. Isak had a quiet game, but obviously being isolated, being up top against three centre halves, and us not getting the ball, it's going to be difficult. So I'm not mad at the performance. I felt like coming into the game, we could have gotten something from the game, but listen, we've not won there since. Actually, we've never won at Etihad in the league, so we're closing the gap. It's not like City blew us away, because rarely do you see teams come to the Etihad, play attacking football, play on the front foot, high pressing, and it only be 1-0. Do you get me? City usually want teams to do that, and then they exploit them. But for us, we've done that, and we were still in the game. As long as it's 1-0, you're still in the game. All it takes is one chance. And in the second half, after we made the changes, we sort of lost our flow a little bit, lost our way a little bit, rushing passes. Technically, I feel like yesterday we wasn't great on the ball, but obviously playing against Man City, when you get the ball there, one of Pep's game plan is to win the ball back faster or quick. Don't let the team settle on the ball, and that's where we struggled technically. So 1-0 away at Man City. There's lots of positives to take from that. The fact that we went there, gave it a go, that we challenged the best team in the world, and it was only 1-0. So I'm happy. Our record there, we're yet to find a win, like I said. So it's all about going again and going into the next game, which is against Liverpool. We've got a lot of encouragement to take from this game. Now we're used to playing these top sides, there's a lot to take and go into the game at Liverpool. So looking forward to that one. They're missing McAllister, he got a red card, so I'll be going into the game just as confident as I was going into the City game. Man City are a top side, and we saw that. We saw why they're elite. They made a Newcastle side stale. They made it hard for us, and that's what they do at home. They do it to everyone. So don't be too hard on the guys, people, man. It's the second game of the season. We went out there, we tried. We didn't just sit back and park the bus. We attacked them. We tried to press them high up the field, and we didn't come away with the result that we wanted. But the boys still played okay. It was an okay performance, not the best, but it was okay. I'm not too mad. So on to the next one, man. On to the next one. Thank you for watching. Thank again for watching. As always, please make sure to like, to comment, and to subscribe to my videos. And let me know, let me know your thoughts on the game. How you felt that it went. You know, are you upset that we lost the game? Are you disappointed with the performance, or is it one that is just one of those games against the best team in the world? Let me know in the comments, man. Thank you for watching. It's your boy Big Uggs, and I'm out.